What if the fate of the next Lakers renaissance hinges not just on superstar talent or blockbuster trades, but on the quiet, almost invisible moves, the lesser-known signings, the two-way contracts that could ripple through the roster like a subtle tremor before an earthquake? What if healing from past injuries, defying odds, and embracing relentless defense are the real cornerstones being quietly laid in the shadow of the bright lights of LeBron and AD's glory days? Welcome back to Lakers News Fan Report, where raw truth meets purple and gold passion. Smash that like button, hit subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss a second of this drama. Because today, we're diving deep into those under the radar decisions that could either make or break this team's fragile future. After a whirlwind weekend that left fans gasping for news, it turns out the Lakers aren't just done filling out their roster. They're sending a clear message about who they envision playing the hard, gritty minutes nobody else wants, whoever they are, wherever they come from. According to Shams Charania's latest scoop, the Lakers have inked deals with not one but two players on two-way contracts. The familiar 7-foot force Christian Koloko, who battled back from a near career-ending blood clot, and a fresh face in rookie Chris Mannon, a defensive dynamo who first turned heads with the Warriors' Summer League squad. But beneath the surface of these signings lies the sharp sting of disappointment for Eric Dixon, who, after wrestling with a damaging foot injury, won't be donning purple and gold this season. This isn't just another transaction, it's a recalibration, a statement about both health realities and the ruthless nature of NBA roster building. With Christian Koloko returning to the fold, the Lakers are betting on resilience, potential, and defensive intimidation. Last season, Kolko's journey back to the court was a roller coaster of hope and uncertainty. 37 games played, moments of brilliance overshadowed by inconsistency, all in the shadow of a season lost to a blood clot that threatened his life and career. His path wasn't a smooth one, slipping in and out of the rotation, losing minutes to Trey Jameson in a changed Lakers squad post-trade deadline. With the Luka Doncic acquisition, yet Kolko's Summer League performance rekindled faith over roughly 17 minutes per game. He averaged 7 points, 4 rebounds, and nearly 3 blocks, numbers that slashed through the noise and placed him among Summer League's elite rim protectors. Translating those stats to per 36 minutes paints an even more compelling picture. Over 5 blocks per 36, a reminder that when healthy and focused, Koloko is arguably even a sharper defensive presence than Jackson Hayes or Adri Ayton at this point in time. This isn't just nostalgia or sentimentality, this is a strategic reclamation of a big man whose lob threat and paint presence could turn the tide in those grueling late-game moments Lakers fans have craved. It's worth pondering, with the Lakers' current center landscape, I'd rather have Kolko's emerging ability and physical tools for a two-way contract slot than any other center out there. Al Horford aside, of course, because he embodies that blend of raw shot-blocking instincts and potential growth that could mesh well with the core stars. Even if they eventually part ways with Trey Jameson or replace him, Koloko could easily fill the backup big's shoes, offering a safety net if Ayton or Hayes hit the sidelines. That flexibility could prove vital as the grind of the season wears on. But the real intrigue for me lies in the man most Lakers fans don't yet know, Chris Mannon, a rookie out of the shadows. Mannon quietly carved his niche through sheer defensive tenacity, defending point-of-attack players with a veracity that screams blue-collar NBA guy. After all, he caught eyes at the California Classic during Warriors Summer League play, showcasing flashes of defensive brilliance that sent me down the rabbit hole 4 years of college. Ball split between Cornell and Vanderbilt, primarily known not for flashy offense, but for lockdown defense and razor-sharp playmaking on that end. His Summer League numbers might sound modest in scoring about 9 points per game in roughly 17 minutes, but peel back the layers, and what stands out is the nearly 3 combined steals and blocks per game, a stat that screams impact per minute. Scale that to per 36, and you're looking at nearly 6 combined steals and blocks per game. For a kid with 0 prior NBA experience, that kind of defensive disruption is a crystal clear value add. It signals a rare instinct and grit that coaches drool over. Does Mannon bring the sheen of a polished 3-and-D wing? Not yet. His 28% Summer League 3-point shooting and 30.4% career clip in college show there's still pending work on that end. But offense has always been a secondary concern here. The Lakers want Mannon to bring energy, effort, and commitment on defense, attributes that, frankly, are far harder to teach than the jump shot. Remember how the Lakers have previously gambled on offensively talented but defensively porous youngsters like Jalen Horde or Maxwell Lewis? Those experiments didn't pan out, especially defensively. This time, they're opting for a defense-first guy more akin to the mold of Alex Caruso or Austin Reeves players who made their names with hustle, discipline, and relentless effort, then refine their offensive games within the system. Mannon fits that prototype beautifully. I can already picture him pestering ball handlers, cutting passing lanes, and diving for loose balls and intangibles that rarely make highlight reels but win games. And with the Lakers already juggling offensive challenges from guys like Jared, Vanderbilt, Aduro, and Bronny, their need for committed defenders to ground the rotation becomes crystal clear. Mannon isn't expected to carve a rotation spot immediately he faces an uphill battle, to develop his three-point shot enough to hold floor space, but in a league obsessed with spacing, even the 28% shooter who can shrink defensive liabilities can find precious minutes. Beyond that, Mannon's value likely extends to the G League, where he'll sharpen those skills and hopefully emerge ready to contribute in key moments. His signing dovetails perfectly with the youth-centric, defense-oriented shift the Lakers' front office seems to be embracing, a quiet acknowledgement that offense can be taught, but heart and defensive IQ are innate. This isn't just about filling summer league rosters, it's about planting seeds for depth, grit, and sustainability. When you think about these two-way men, the returning Koloko and the rookie Mannon, there's a thematic pulse beating beneath the surface. This team is betting on heart, defiance, and defensive effort amid all the star power and splashy signings. It's a stark contrast to the star-studded Lakers of old, a gritty last stand or perhaps a desperate sprint toward another golden era. But these moves also raise more questions than answers as always. Will Koloko finally shake off the lingering effects of his health scare and find consistency? The ghosts of missed opportunities and injured dreams haunt these choices. Yet there's also an undeniable hunger here, a willingness to tough it out, to embrace the scars and fight for every inch of relevance in a league that never stops evolving. So I'm left to wonder, are these two-way signings the fragile roots of a resurgence that could blossom into dynasty, or are they simply the harbingers of a slow unraveling, a patchwork of stopgaps in a roster desperately grasping for stability? The stakes feel higher than ever before, the questions burn deeper, and the answers? They're still out there, hanging in the balance. Listen up, all you die-hard purple and gold riders, this isn't a drill, and I'm screaming at you through the screen because every second we hesitate, the window leaks air, and the ghosts of Lakers past start looking a hell of a lot bigger. LeBron's legacy? It's hanging by more than just his gargantuan stats or those clutch fourth quarters that have carried this franchise through its darkest nights. This roster, this patchwork quilt of stars, stir-ins, hopeful experiments, and quiet hustlers is the living story of his twilight years. And the weight on AD's shoulders might just be crushing more than the pain. Anthony's no stranger to the grind. But the real question gnawing at me is whether these subtle moves, like re-signing Koloko and gambling on Mannon's defense-first hustle, are enough to shield him from the relentless assault of a Western Conference now swirling with hungry beasts. LeBron's crafted a career atop dynasties, warfare, and Miracle's 1980s Showtime swagger. The Shaq Kobe three-peats that redefined domination. The Kobe Power Revenge Tour that whispered never count us out. And that soul-stirring 2020 bubble banner lifted against odds so colossal they'd crush lesser men. But now, the swagger's got cracks, the foundation feels scrubbed raw. Reeves, our scrappy heart, is skyrocketing into the spotlight. But is he a cornerstone or a flash in the pan? Bronny, the legacy's torchbearer, is only a shadow at the edge of the court, and the timeline of greatness he inherits could shatter if this roster can't find some chemistry beneath those star-crossed aspiration. And what about where Jeannie Buss sits in this equation? The cerebral, steady hand that kept the franchise from imploding post-Kobe, post-Powell, post-LeBron's entrance. Will she keep steering this ship as it wobbles? Or does a billionaire with deeper pockets and a thirst for purple and gold blood soon arrive to rewrite the very DNA of the franchise? Imagine the power shifts that could come crashing through Crypto.com arena. A new kingmaker emerging in this crowded ownership jungle, rattling cages and factional alliances with a cold detachment that history shows is both a blessing and a curse. For legacy franchises, we've seen it before. The Showtime Lakers built a dynasty with ruthlessness and charisma, but it was also marked by internal battles and struggles behind the glitz. The 2000s three-peat was forged by Blood Kobe's relentless fire, Shaq's unstoppable force. The madness of Phil Jackson's Zen master plan alchemizing them all into champions. But that era peeled away at the team's core with every ring. 1. The 2010 ring run was redemption for a Purple Haze turned bruised and battered. The bubble title in 2020, one of the most cinematic epics in sports history, was a triumph of heart over chaos, a defiant roar in a universe turned upside down by a pandemic. But what if those chapters have already sold us a dangerous fairy tale? What if the true champs aren't made in the bright lights and high-stakes clinchers, but in these shadowed, quiet moments of grit and reconstruction, the coaching tweaks, the bench players molded with defense and discipline, the seismic impact of a two-way guy who might not light up the scoreboard, but will make a clutch stop that changes a game? The West Globe spins faster than ever. Warriors still cling to their glory, their splash legacy morphing even as new talents rise. Denver looms, jockey breathing ice and fire like a mythical beast with no end in sight. Phoenix, ever the dark horse, prowls from the desert with fierce agility and a chip on its shoulder. While the Clippers, though marred by inconsistencies and whispers of locker room dramas, pack enough punch to blow up the quiet nights in purple and gold. What if these small moves, the signing of Mannon and the resurrection of Koloko, are the Lakers' secret counterpunch in a brutal heavyweight division? But what if they're too little, too late? Imagine the ripple effect through the locker room, the psychology of a group that's been both cursed and blessed by the purple and gold. What if the ghosts of past champions, Jerry West's steely stare, Magic Johnson's jaw-dropping assists, Kobe's unrelenting drive, haunt players who aren't yet ready to carry such weight? That pressure cooker environment can either forge legends or break spirits faster than you can blink. Picture the fans packed in those stands, the electricity humming through Crypto.com Arena like it did when Magic was dropping no-look dimes, or when Kobe was dancing his deadly ballet across the court. Now, fan nerves taut, breaths held as each two-way contract feels like a fragile lifeline thrown into the tempest. The pulse of the city matches the rhythm of a roster toss between hope and despair. The Lakers have always been more than basketball. They're the soul of Los Angeles' heart, the city's triumph and tragedy etched into every banner hanging from the rafters. Now, do these quiet moves send sparks flying that ignite a new legend, or do they mark the slow unraveling? A dismantling of soul piece by piece. There's no fluff here, just raw, gritty reality and a brutal recalibration of what it means to be a Laker today. And through it all, I wonder, what if this isn't just about players or owner drama? What if this season is a crucible that will test who the Lakers really are beneath the veneer of star power? The relentless fight against time, injuries, and the league's rising tides. The loyalty of the fan base, hungry for spectacle but desperate for substance. This franchise has survived celebrity flares and controversies, booms and busts. Remember the despair of the Westbrook trade, the Jimmy Butler near miss, the endless carousel of head coaches and GM swaps. Those moments cut deep, but the Lakers endure because of hope, the kind of hope that drives us to buy tickets, to argue late into the night, to wear the crown of purple and gold with pride even when the world doubts us. But what if this year that hope finally finds footing? What if Mannon morphs into the lockdown defender whose energy fuels a crucial playoff push? Or Koloko, defying the odds and nodding to the legends before him, becomes the rim protector that shifts the arc of a series? What if LeBron's twilight years don't just add more stats or all-time records, but carve a new kind of legacy, one that embraces grit, heart, humility? What if AD sheds the burden and thrives not just as a scorer, but the anchor, the defensive maestro? Imagine the roster gelling in a way that feels impossible now, blending youth and experience, star power and blue-collar grind. We march into a maelstrom of competition, where the Lakers' fate could pivot on the slimmest edge. A single defensive stop, a clutch rebound, a rookie's sudden breakout. But this story doesn't have a hero script yet. It's a work in progress, raw, uncertain, electric, as a Laker till the day I die. Here's what I see coming. The battle lines are drawn not just in purple and gold, but in every inch of hustle, every sacrifice in practice, every gritty minute logged in the G League or on a summer league court. The future isn't promised, it's earned, and damn it, the Lakers know how to bleed for glory. Now I want to hear it from you. Drop your raw stick below. Every true believer in purple and gold. Are these two-way signings a spark lighting the fuse of a new era, or a desperate grasp at straws in a storm that could drown us all? Either way, we're here, screaming, hoping, fighting the birthright of every Laker fan. The question isn't if we bleed for this team, it's how deep that blood will run. When the lightning finally strikes,